Hi everybody, I'm with Andy Nelson. Andy is head of supplies for the band. As you might have learned from other videos I've done, this band relies heavily on its students to assist with all the various duties. There aren't enough band instructors or professors to do all of this, from clothing to supplies to everything else. And Andy's in charge of, well, let's ask Andy, what are you in charge of? Why don't you show us around your, quote, office here?
Well, the supplies office is in charge of all of the university-owned instruments, all of the school-owned lockers. So we are able to provide, for example, the entire brass section this year has brand new Jupiter brass. Those all are within the supplies office, and we are in charge of IDing them, checking them out, monitoring them, make sure they're not damaged, cleaning them, and so on and so forth. And also providing the students with a safe place to store these instruments. Okay. And that's in our locker room.
Okay. And this room we're in right now is the supply room, I suppose?
This is
for other instruments?
The storage room for all of our actively used instruments. Okay. We have a few other storage facilities for the bigger instruments, but most of them fit in here.
Okay, why don't you show us what you've got in here?
On this wall we have a bunch of tenor saxophones and the French horns. They fit nicely in these cubbies that we have found.
Okay.
And then on this side, we have a lot of the old marching mellophones, some of the old trombones, which we don't use very often because a lot of trombonists use their own.
Okay.
We also have the old marching baritones and the huggable baritones.
So if a student came to school and didn't have a trombone, wanted to be in the band, you could actually, they could actually borrow one.
Yes.
Okay.
We have at least one of every instrument.
Okay.
On this wall, we have a bunch of the woodwind. We have everything from piccolo down through alto flute and even some weirder instruments like contrabassoon and E-flat clarinet. And we also have some cornets, trumpets, flugelhorns, and also some fanfare trumpets, which you don't really see very often anymore. It's the old style with the banners hanging off of them.
Oh yeah, so a lot of these instruments are used for the concert ensembles,
yes.
Not just the marching band, for example. Obviously, because looks like we have a concert tuba and a cello?
That is a cello, and up on top we have a few violins.
Violins, okay.
And this is a climate-controlled room. That's why we are able to have the string instruments back here.
So it keeps a steady temperature?
Yeah, steady temperature. We try to control the humidity levels. And on this wall we have all of the old marching baritones, as well as some bari saxophones.
Which are not in the band today, but they would be used in, how about the jazz groups? They get their instruments here also?
The jazz groups, Dr. Motrow actually has his own selection of supply instruments out at Slater. That way they don't constantly have to
come back here.
Yeah.
Sure.
But when they have an odd request, like last year there was a xylophone they needed, we had to take one over to them.
Is this your first year as office head for supplies?
This is my first year as the office head. Last year I was one of the assistant office heads, and my freshman year I was just a regular old officer.
What is the most difficult part of your job now? Is it time consuming?
It is very time consuming, but I would say the most difficult part is just staying in constant contact with all the different groups that I have to, down from the directors all the way through to everyone in the marching sections, just making sure all the horns are taken care of correctly and all that. You
have students that assist you with this, right?
I do. I have this semester I have 3 assistant heads. One of them is graduating in December, so I will have, again, 3 in the spring because I already have someone in place. Okay. The 3 for this semester are Ben Kudich, Beth Newman, and Matt Weaver.
Okay.
And Ben Kudich is the one that's graduating in December, and Madison Bailey is taking over his position in the spring. Apart from them, we have about 7 to 8 new freshmen that joined the office this year.
Wow.
And about just as many, about 7 to 8 upperclassmen that actively have office hours throughout the week.
So this office, where we came in the door from the hallway, there would be somebody here all the time?
Not necessarily all the time. We prefer to have someone here the hour before, during, and after any of the concert bands or marching band practice.
Okay.
That way we can be around to assist in any emergencies. And then I allow my officers to sign up for an office hour in accordance with their class schedules.
Sure.
So we actually have a sheet on the door and then our hours on our Facebook page. And students are able to just look at that and know when they can come in to get their horns.
So if people watching this are on Facebook, they could find you?
Yes, under Purdue Supply Office.
Okay, there you go, Purdue Supply Office.
Yes.
And do people come and sort of socialize and hang around the office just when they have spare moments?
They tend to. We try to limit that as much as possible just
Sure.
in case there is an emergency repair that we need the area for.
Sure.
But there is some socialization, and
Okay.
officers are allowed to do their homework if it's a very dull office hour. They're allowed to do.
So
study and whatnot.
you do instrument repairs?
We do. We do minor instrument repairs. We know how to re-pad and do minor alterations to alignments of keys on all the woodwind instruments. And for brass instruments, we have ability to unstick almost any valve or tuning slide, as well as replace the spit valve pads and such, but we don't take the dents out of instruments.
Sure.
Or completely repair an instrument because that puts a liability on us. So we actually have a local repair shop called Brent's Bench that we take all of our repairs to that we can't handle.
So you said you had a number of, I forget the number of freshmen who were in the supply office this year. How do they learn these skills? Do you have to teach them?
Each new member of the office, whether it be a freshman or any other age, before they're allowed to have their own office hour, they're required to have a couple office hours paired with an existing member of the office, and in those hours they train. We have a few dummy instruments that they can learn how to do the repairs on before they actually do repairs on working instruments. But once they've been trained, then they are fully capable of having their own office hour and repairing just as much as anybody else is.
I guess I never thought of the supply office also doing instrument repairs.
Yeah.
And having the skills to do that. I mean, I know I played the clarinet for years, and I don't have a clue how to repair it.
Yeah, it can be a little complicated at times, but we figure it out.
All right, Andy, I appreciate you taking the time today. Is there anything that we left out that you'd want to add, or pretty well got it all, or what?
I think we pretty much got it.
Okay, you have a nice day, and
Thanks,
go back and repair some more instruments.
Will do.
Okay.